Hey everybody, it's me, Alex, once again. It's been a little while since I've made a video, but I've been kind of busy playing other games, just haven't had any idea what to do for videos, but this is something I kind of wanted to talk about, but I wanted to make sure everything was all done before I even attempt it. So, what is this? This is a video talking about the Dreamcast. Now, not only is it just about that, it's more so about trying to explain how to elongate its life with some of these mods. And this one right here has some, physical mods done to it. I haven't done any like soldering with like mod chips or anything like that. But if you look on the back, I also have a LAN adapter. Let's see, is that, yeah, that comes in. Yeah, that should, unless this is the wrong one. No, it's the right one, because right over here you can see it has a different power plug. Now, why would that be? Well, we're going to explain that in a second. So, what else did I do? Oh, I put in a new fan. You can't see that, but we're going to get down to that shortly. So, alright, what these mods are is a power supply unit replacement and a fan that makes it so the console stays cooler and quieter. Now, I'm going to show you guys how bad, like really bad, the sound is for the regular Dreamcast that I have right here. Right over here. This one's disc reader isn't working because I kind of broke the spindle, so can't really do much about that. I gotta get a brand new disk drive for that, so that's fun. And I also did an LED light mod. I put a blue one in here, and it came with some kind of thing I could solder in to make it brighter, so I did that too. And the final thing, now this is something that's going to pretty much happen to every single Dreamcast out there due to the fact that they're getting older, so the battery inside there is going to die. Now, most of the time, it doesn't matter. You don't need the battery. Although it is annoying, every time you boot the system up, you have to reinsert the battery, or not the battery, re-put the date in, and then you can continue playing. Like, even if it's, like, plugged in still, like, it still holds power, it's just the battery is completely dead. It can't hold a charge anymore. So inside here, we have a replacement battery holder, and replaceable, just battery. You can just take it out, put it in. So we're going to take a look at that right freaking now. Alright guys, so over here we have the modified Dreamcast, and over here is our regular one. Now when you want to take these apart, which I already took the screws out, you want to make sure this is ejected, apparently, because there's a little switch that you have to make sure this thing hits when it closes, and that makes the disc read. So let's take that right off. And alright, this actually worked out very well for me because I was needing a new battery for this system, but I just didn't have one, because I'll explain in a moment. Now, excuse any background noise if you hear any. I can't help it. But, so, this battery holder right here had a incorrect kind of battery put into it. Now, if I could find the battery that it was, that'd be great, so I could tell you what not to use, but I could just tell you what you should use. So, you have to solder this in to, 3 points, and they're very easy. And for some reason, I broke one of the pins off, and then I just kind of soldered something into it, and it worked. It was great. And over here we have the original fan. Now this is so tiny that it makes so much noise. That's pretty much why it does. And also it's old, so what are you going to do? And this is the whole power supply unit, as you can see, all the way up to here. And it's huge. There's just so much unnecessary just junk in here. And this, when it goes on, it clips into these things. And these also are needed to be cleaned in case it doesn't have enough power going to it or something like that. And if this power supply fails, this disc reader will not be able to read the disc, because
it just doesn't have enough power going to it. But a Sega Saturn I had that happen. It was unfortunate. So the kind of battery you're going to need is one of these, and you'll know it has the correct kind of battery on it because I'll have like some numbers around the front. Like this says 31. Let me just make sure I'm getting a good view. Now on here you will see it says ML2032. You always want to go with ML. Never go with anything like CIR or any other kind of rechargeable batteries, because this is the only one that will work. Because, for example, when I had the other battery in this system, which is my primary one, it would hold the charge of the time for maybe a day or two, and then I decided, all right, let's leave this on for a few hours to charge, like you're supposed to do. And then the next day, it was off by a few hours, so it wasn't working right. So thankfully, I have this, and I got another one. Actually, I took this one that was in here out of there into here, because I forgot that this was my primary one before the disc reader died, and now this one is the primary console. It's very easy to put in too. You can just look at like the front and the front and the back. You'll see a minus and a plus sign. And all you do is you just slide it right in, and it's all good to go. And we just need to turn the console on in order to get the battery running all smooth and good. So let's see. Do we want to do that now? No, not yet. Now, next, let's take a look at the other console, the one that is modified. Not really hard modified, but it's modified enough. So we're going to push that a little over here. Also, you might be wondering, what's this stuff right here? This right here is my M Classic, as you guys might know if you're subscribed. And this is the Acura HD box. Now, I have used a lot of upscalers, but this is amazing. Picture looks so sharp. Like, just, it's about $80. Just go look up online for the Acura HD Dreamcast box, and you will not be disappointed. Although the cord here connecting the console to the box is a little too short in my opinion, so I'm not a big fan of that. And as for the power supply, we have a little bit of a different kind of plug, because this comes out to, let me just grab the power supply before we turn it on. Comes out to this. It's a bit of a controversial thing with these kind of power adapters because they're so big, but you want something external compared to internal, because if something fails like the power supply does, you can always just go get a new, plug. If the power supply itself dies that's inside the console, you really have no choice but to get a brand new power supply or go with a new one. So let's plug this back in, and then we'll take a look. Now first, let's open this up. Oh, I didn't follow my rule. Oh well, I'm sure it'll be just fine. Also, had a bit of a moment there, but this was also modified as well. Now I think this one was left alone, but this right here, this is the spring that you need to open and close it. But the problem is, with the original design of it, the fan is too big for it to fit properly closed. So that's what that's for. Now, if we bring this into focus, oh my goodness, I forgot these actually have grippy bottoms. So here's our, let's zoom in a little bit. Let's see. All right. Pull that back. Perfect. Okay. So on the right here you have the fan, which is a lot bigger. Like, so much bigger than the other one. It's pretty crazy actually. And then we have our battery right here, of course. And here is the power supply. Now, it is super tiny. I mean, look at this thing. Let me just unplug it. This is all that you need. I mean, other than the cords for the fan and maybe the power supply being a little too long and they have to be put through here, it's a little annoying, but it's very condensed and very light. And it comes with this little cover here, so you can easily just slide it right on there. You don't have to have an issue. It's great. So let's put that right back in there. And when we power these on, you're going to notice the one with the new power supply turns on just a split second faster than the original hardware one. Alright, so let's put that back in. Now we don't need to have these actually, well, yeah, we'll put the tops back on in a moment. But let's turn on the old Dreamcast and then we can listen to the fan and see how bad that is. So here we go. Let's put the top back on actually, so it may be a bit easier to tell what it sounds like. Come on now. Yeah, these aren't very hard to put back on usually. It doesn't help though, try to put it on with the power plugged in. Let's see. That's why. Because this is in the way. Now this you can actually kind of hear. I can hear it from here. Maybe you guys can pick it up. I don't know. We're going to see in the video feedback. Next we want to get the battery working. So, now that we put the battery in the old console, let's take this out. Put it in the new one. Now, we're going to turn it up to the TV, because you're going to see that the Dreamcast needs to have its clock set. I usually have trouble with these stupid tripods, I swear to God, guys. Alright. Get that flattened out. We need to turn the camera. It's a little lopsided, but that's fine. Alright. So we have the Dreamcast plugged in correctly, I believe. That was weird. Alright. Everything should be plugged in correctly. Make sure we're on the right input. Yes, we are. Sometimes it doesn't like to work. Alright, that took a little longer than it should have, but here we are. Sometimes this won't show up down here unless you have, unless you turn it off, plug in the core box, and then turn it back on. Alright, so now we have to set our clock. Let me just plug this in. Figure out where the controller went. And let's see, what time is it? It is November, so that is actually kind of funny. So as of now, it is the 24th, 2023. It is 10:19, so 10:19. Actually, 10:20. Just turned 10:20. All right. Also, I have a fun little Easter egg to show you. If you have a save of a certain game, you can push start and it changes the HUD layout. Not really HUD layout, but just how it looks, and you can move it with the stick, you can turn it with the triggers. It's really damn cool. Everything is all modified to run properly like this. Yeah, that little icon there, that's basically what you need to make it work. Let's see, is there an English name for it? Pollo Fever System. Okay, yeah, so that's what that is. Alright, enough of this nonsense. We're gonna let this thing sit here and charge. But first, we need to at least turn it off and turn it back on to see if it actually saved the battery data. So here we go. Unplug it real quick. Power cycle a few times. Power cycling, if you don't know, is basically making sure that all of the currents in the power supply are ejected, so you don't like zap something or whatever. But for us, we want to make sure that it just has no power in there. And why can't I get you in there? I just had you in there. Alright. Turning it back on. Okay. Alright, that's a good sign. We have signs of it surviving past just the initial plug-in. Now this battery may be charged already, but I'm gonna let it sit and I'm gonna test it again. Probably off screen, yeah. And then I'll just cut back to when we're gonna test it again. So off with this one. And now let's test out this one here in terms of the sound. Oh dear, you can see everything. Oh my goodness. Let's see, turn this. See if you can hear any differences. Now watch as I put this one on, or turn this one on, and the power is going to be instantaneous. It's kind of strange to me why it works that way. Oh. Sometimes this doesn't want to go on, especially after I modified it, because the eject button doesn't like to press down easily anymore because of the fan. So how about we just plug that in here. Light instantly turns on. And do you hear anything? Let's pull it up a little closer. Silent, absolutely silent. And this will also keep your system a lot cooler, like I said before. Now, let's try the other one more time and see how loud that is. So we'll bring this one right up. Oh, we don't need video for this. All right, here we go. Massive difference. Very big difference, I'd say. Like, this is completely silent. This you can hear pretty far away. And it's kind of annoying. Honestly, I think every Dreamcast should be modified at this point, if you have one, with the, what do they call this fan? The Noctua fan. But you gotta get a specific model, otherwise it won't fit. I learned that the hard way. So yes. We'll jump back in a little bit, because we're gonna leave this thing on for a few hours. And then we will determine if it works. I'm pretty sure it's gonna work, but yeah. So rather than sitting here and have you wait a few hours just to see if it would actually work, I thought, well, I think we already accomplished what we needed to do here. We saw that we got the new battery working. It's probably fully charged. So now we just need to wait maybe 20 days or so to see if it still works. And if not, that means we just have to turn it on, let it charge, and it'll save your stuff. If you're playing your Dreamcast constantly, like every day, every other couple days, the battery will be just fine. So don't worry about that. And as for the power supply and fan, again, the power supply makes this thing turn on instantaneously. Like, let's just compare how fast they are. If you saw, that light took a little bit longer to turn on. So basically, this is just all condensed into one thing, so it probably travels faster. That's my theory. And yeah, that's all I really have to say about this. Are you guys gonna try to get this modification done to your system, like those three mods? I'd say the battery, which every one has probably got to be replaced within a few years, because those batteries don't last forever, and not everyone has the soldering skills to do it. So yeah, that's a bit of a problem. But anyway, guys, I don't want to ramble on any longer, and I'll see you guys next time. Farewell.